And we're live. Hello, guys. Welcome to Talkin VAWLS, episode number 47, brought to you by the Outright Geekery Podcast Network on outrightgeekery.com, as well as the S&B Network on YouTube, which is where we are live streaming right now. I think we got 5 or 6 of you guys in the chat. Boy, I'm blown up just from that entrance. Woo, my name's Boogie Bentley.
I'm Vols JP.
And we got a special new co-host. Some of you guys, where are you guys at? Why are you late? Let's go. I'll wait all night for this. Dauber, welcome to Talkin VAWLS. Long-time listener, first-time caller.
What's up, guys?
Dauber.
We're live. We can't fix that, JP. Is that you or Dauber?
Of all things, all of a sudden my phone just starts talking to me for some reason. I have no earthly idea why.
If you guys are listening to this on the podcast platform after the fact, it is brought to you by collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code ComicCast. Save 10% at checkout on all of the latest and greatest professional merchandise you could possibly want. All the links are in the description, so check it out. We're also on Facebook and Twitter at TalkinVAWLS_pod. That's VAWLS. If you're listening to this live right now on YouTube, share out the link. Let your friends know we are here and we are chatting. Also, be sure that you hit that like button, comment, and subscribe. Man, we're going to get into the orange and white game a little bit here, but let's start somewhere else. Old Uncle Phil's been busy this week, but things look good. How about the Barnes stuff with flirting with UCLA a little bit? Dauber, what do you think about that? You think it's money? You think it's a power play?
I think Barnes was legitimately interested in it because he's an old school guy, and UCLA is an old school basketball powerhouse. It was an opportunity for him to be at a basketball school rather than a football school. So I think he did have some genuine interest. I saw that Arkansas had also reached out to him earlier in the week as well. And he flat out shut them down, said, no, I'm not going to do that to Tennessee. I'm not going in conference. I won't even talk to you. So I think it was Barnes just kind of sentiment, looking at UCLA as what UCLA used to be. But really, if you look at the two programs in their current state, Tennessee is, leaps and bounds ahead of UCLA right now.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just glad that, man, we're so used to when news and rumors like that break, we're so used to getting the short end of the stick, right? It's like, it seems like always, but since Fulmer took over, it's like, look at the football team, right? You make a change and Fair leaves and you're kind of like, well, that doesn't make sense, man. That's a VFL. What's going on here? And then he brings in a stud from the NFL. And then we got the Barnes news this week. You kind of think, man, what a fun season. What a fun ride it's been. Is it over? Are they going to have to start over? But then Fulmer comes in and seals the deal. And then also, I don't really keep up with basketball, but also the Lady Vols, new head coach in place. JP, what'd you think of the rumors this week with Barnes?
Well, I think it was more just rumors. I mean,
Well, a lot of people thought it was a done deal. They thought he was gone. They thought he was packing his bags and heading to the West Coast.
Well, and it sounds like if Fulmer and the Boyd guy hadn't got into it, that he probably was gone. I mean, the way that they talked, I mean, who knows exactly what all transpired with it, but I don't know. I was a little disappointed, I'll be honest with you, because it threw me for a loop for sure, because I just never thought that Barnes, I mean, at his age and, his wife went to UT and he's from Hickory, North Carolina. And then just the thought of him just packing up and moving to Southern California, it was just really, really strange. But, money talks, and, certainly you can't blame for somebody for wanting to do that. But now I think Barnes has been adamant for the last couple of years that he was wanting to get some more money for his assistant coaches. I mean, it even came out there, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I mean, he even basically took some of his salary and gave it to the assistant coaches to keep those guys. So he's very loyal to those assistant coaches, which, the Rob Lanier left and went to Georgia State as their head coach. So, I think that was one thing that Barnes wanted assurance from Tennessee and Fulmer and the athletic department down there, that they were on board, because, I know that there's a lot of people that are saying that Tennessee overpaid for Rick Barnes, but I think if Tennessee wanted to continue, hopefully, with the success that they've had on the basketball court, I think that we had to keep Rick Barnes. I think that we had to. Now, I know there's probably going to be some people say, well, anybody could, we could hire anybody and take them, probably to a Sweet 16 or whatever, because there's a lot of critics say that Barnes can't get past that and all that. But look at what he's done for that program and the way that he's building it up. And, just now the recruiting that he's starting to do, if he leaves earlier this week and he goes to UCLA and Tennessee's trying to find a basketball coach, I dare say that
two basketball coaches.
Yeah, two this week. But I would dare say that Josiah James is probably not signing with Tennessee, and who knows some of the other top recruits that he's in on this year and even next year. So I think it was paramount that Tennessee kept Barnes, just for the sole fact of, Tennessee basketball is not going to be able to just continue and just hire coaches and just expect that, that the talent's going to keep flowing in, because they don't have the reputation and the history there with that kind of stuff. So, I think that if Barnes leaves, I think it's probably, it's back to really square one, because I think next year we're probably going to struggle anyway, especially Bone and Grant leave for sure.
Yeah, well, let's move on to the main event. I don't think there's very many people in the live chat that are here to talk about the basketball team.
What, we going to talk about the Lady Vols?
Yeah, is that what you want to talk about? That's the main event, right?
Is that the main event?
Well, I should be watching the Preds, but I'm down here talking to you goofs. But let's move on to the orange and white game. I thought it was a decent little crowd. Do they still do the autograph signings and all that stuff, or is that a thing of the past?
Well, I was listening to I think it was Swain. I listened to him about 30 minutes on my way to work every morning, and they were saying that it wasn't any current players, because Pruitt wanted them to be focused on the orange and white game and the scrimmage. So they weren't going to have any current players, but it was former athletes, former football players, basketball players, so forth like that. So, but I don't think that they were inside the stadium. I think they were in one of the lots outside across the street from the stadium, is what Swain was saying.
I mean, go ahead, Dauber.
I did see last year they didn't do it for the orange and white game, but they had like a fan event in the fall camp. They had an open practice and a fan event. But I think Pruitt, he's not gimmicky. I've had the chance to meet him, and he's a very matter-of-fact, to the point, down to earth, level-headed, kind of like one of us, just a good old boy. He's about the football. He's not about the flash and the marketing. I mean, you can see it in his interviews when he talks. I mean, he's not trying to impress. He's just very blunt and to the point. And sometimes that can kind of rub, especially media, the wrong way. But from a fan's perspective, I like that.
Yeah, I love it. I like it too. My only thing is you hear him griping about the attendance, and he wants more people there for the orange and white game. Listen, man, it's a scrimmage. You got a running clock in the second half. It's very vanilla. It's not going to be a packed stadium. It's just not going to happen. And especially when you take away that I don't know what you want to call it, the Butch Jones used car salesman. He did a lot of things that made the spring scrimmage exciting for the fans.
Well, it's very gimmicky and all about the hype.
Right. And I'm not saying that's a good thing. Listen, I'm not sitting here singing Butch Jones's praises. I'm just saying don't expect a sellout when you're not given the opportunity for people to meet the players and that interaction. It was a fan experience, man. The couple of times I went with DA. It was a fan experience. I had the opportunity to meet Eric Ainge, and I'm a grown man standing there with an 18-year-old kid, nervous meeting Eric Ainge like he's some superstar. But I don't know. But listen,
I mean,
I was bored in the second half. I was bored already.
I mean, that's the way most of those orange and white games are. The ones that I went to a few of them, and it was boring, you know. But yeah, I mean, I know what y'all saying about the Butch Jones era when he had, you know, they were throwing into the trash cans and all that crap, you know.
Didn't have to bring that up, man.
You know, so I mean, you know, that's what Pruitt's all about, and you know, hopefully that's what'll get Tennessee football turned back around is an actual football coach that understands, you know, that it's not out here trying to sell somebody something, that it's not trying to sell the fans some you know, something that's not real. You know, he just wants to win football games, and
exactly,
you know, that's what he's paid for, you know, and
that's all that matters. Nothing else matters.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing else matters, you know. I mean, you know, he can shake as many hands as he wants to, but if he don't win, it doesn't matter. You know, I've said it last year. I don't care if the guy ever does a press conference. Just win freaking football games. That's all I care about. I don't care if he tells media to, you know, he don't want to answer their questions. I don't care about anything about that. Just win football games.
Well, listen, I mean, we just had Dooley, who, you know, he gave a great press conference. How many Dooley quotes can you think of from his press conferences? But that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's about winning the football games. It's the X's and O's. It's not the after game, you know. That doesn't matter.
We got 10 in the live chat right now. You guys join us. We appreciate it. We appreciate you jumping on with us live. Do us a favor. Jump over and hit that like button. Help the analytics. It'll help spread this live video throughout YouTube so more people can jump in and join us and interact with us in the chat. Let us know what you think, what you're looking for in the spring game. Did you get bored with it? Did you have a good time? Or are you just glad to see football on your TV once again? If anybody was there, let us know how the atmosphere was in the stadium. Let's start with some overall bright points, good points, negative points. What'd you think, Dauber, of what you saw today on the football field? Like we said, it's very vanilla. It's dialed down, but you can still. What were your highs and lows for today?
One thing that stuck out to me, and I think you've seen that from Chaney at all his stopping points. When he was at Tennessee, you know, look at Cordarrelle Patterson. You know, how many times did we run an end around prior to Chaney being there? Chaney came in, he saw Patterson's skill set and his athletic ability, and he was utilized. They made plays and schemes specifically for him and got him the ball. And I think even with the offense, you know, running very vanilla, you saw, you know, quick 3-step drops, getting the ball out of Garantano's hands quickly, I think was a point of emphasis. And Pruitt even said it at halftime. That was something that he felt they didn't do good on in the first half. But I think, you know, Chaney is going to rely on Ty Chandler and Tim Jordan running the ball, but he's also going to use the very deep wide receiver core that we have. You know, we got a lot of guys returning. You got Jennings and Callaway. One thing that I'm hoping that we can do is use our big tight end. I mean, come on.
Dude, that was one of my key points for last year going into the season. I wanted to see DWA get the ball more, and he touched it probably 4 or 5 times today. Yeah. I like that they got him a little bit more involved. And just to touch on your point of getting the ball to playmakers, they got the ball to Chandler and Banks both out of the backfield a lot today. And Jeremy Banks is one of those guys I think all Tennessee fans, they love the guy. They love his passion. They love he plays 100 miles an hour. You know, obviously it's a big factor. Can he protect the football this year? Could we see him on the field a lot more if he learns to protect the football? And he did that today. He did protect the football. I think the first time he touched it, I think Will Ignott was in a no-contact jersey and Banks just leveled him. And then Ignott gets just walked off the field, man. He got lit up, but he came back in a little bit later. Did anybody hear?
you got to love guys like Banks, though. I mean,
Oh yeah,
he's asked, hey, go play defense. The dude just wants to be out there, and that's the kind of guys that I think Pruitt's going to go after. And I think once we sort of cycle out of the end of the Butch Jones players, you look at Pruitt and towards the end of the year, some of his comments he made about getting our players in here, guys that want to do it the right way. And I think that's going to really be a turning point for Tennessee football to come back to, where we know it should be, where we grew up with it being,
JJ Banks in the chat says, I think Banks is going to have a breakout season. Is Jeremy Banks in the chat right now telling us that he's going to have a breakout season? Oh, man. What about you, JP? High points, anything you like coming out of the orange and white game?
Well, I think the biggest high point out of it is hopefully that Palmer's okay, and it seems that the team is healthy at least. Haven't heard of anybody sustaining any kind of injuries during spring practice or anything. So to me, that's the biggest thing, because it seems like for years down there that there's been more players on the get medical attention than there is out there playing and stuff like that. So, that to me in a spring game is something? The most positive. And even in spring practice is that you can get through those 15 practices or whatever it is in that spring game without anybody suffering any kind of major injury or anything like that. I definitely think that Chaney is going to get the ball to our playmakers better. I think Chandler is going to really see touches this year. Wood, Anderson, I think everywhere that Chaney's been, he's always used the tight end. So I think that he's going to have a great, have the potential to have a great season. I screamed it all season long last year, throw it to Jennings, throw it to Jennings, throw it to Jennings. And every time they'd throw it to Jennings, he'd get a first down or make a big play, but it would seem to be, few and far in between. And, reports that he was never fully healthy, and he seems to be healthy. I think that Juwan Jennings is going to have a monster year this year and this is the major takeaway, and it still is after watching the spring game. It's all about the offensive line. I mean, if we can protect Garantano and if we can open up some running lanes, I think the offense has some playmakers. Are they all world playmakers? No, certainly not. But it's all going to come down to whether or not that we can control the line of scrimmage any.
I think it comes full circle to what Dauber was talking about earlier with getting the ball out quick and Chaney utilizing short, quick passing routes.
Yeah.
You got to protect your quarterback. And listen, we all know the offensive line is a weakness. The guys in the chat are going on and on right now talking about the offensive line being a weakness. We know that. So how, what do you do to protect that offensive line? Right. And that's short, quick routes. Get the ball to Jennings. Let him make plays. Boone Gang said in the chat, Alontae Taylor didn't look great today, and I think that's who Jennings may have beat on the fade for a touchdown. Jennings made some plays today, man. Some negative things I saw. Obviously, the starting off was rough. JG didn't look good starting off. The offensive line looked awful starting off. He wasn't getting any time, and receivers weren't helping him early on. But that second half,
couple big drops,
yeah. That second half, I thought they turned things around. We started seeing them make some plays. Jennings made a good play or two. Callaway made a big catch that
Wood easily had a touchdown.
Yeah. They got rolling a little bit better in the second half. But then that on the flip side, your concerns is that the offense or the defense. And again, just to beat a dead horse, we know that it's vanilla, and that's on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. I mean, I don't take anything out of these. I mean, really. I mean, that's why I said, to me, the most important thing is that they come out of it healthy. Yes, and obviously it's good for those guys to get practice. But, I mean, anytime that you're scrimmaging against your own players, it's like, well, then does the defense really sorry, or is the offense that good, or vice versa with all of that and kind of stuff and everything. What I was interested in seeing is had any of the guys gotten bigger. I was kind of surprised. I was hoping that Jameer Johnson was going to look bigger, because there was reports that he was up over 300 pounds, but man, he still looks skinny to me. I mean, just does not look like an interior SEC offensive lineman by any means. Hopefully he can continue to put on some weight, because I do believe that he's got a nasty streak in him that is one of those players that could get in there and could help us win some football games.
I kind of want to piggyback on what you said earlier about being healthy through this camp and staying healthy. We go back to a little earlier in the off season, retaining Fitzgerald in strength and conditioning. I think that was a big move. Maryland came at him hard and threw some money at him, and I think that shows you. Look at the rest of the staff Pruitt's brought in. Chaney, T. Martin. It's not just recruits and it's these coaches that are buying into what Pruitt is doing right now, and the way that the program is trending up. But being able to retain a guy like Fitzgerald, and like you said, we've had a course of a lot of injuries, really significant players being injured, but we've not heard any of that now. And I think that is a bit of a nod to Fitzgerald and, the complete change of philosophy in strength and conditioning, because that's key. I mean, it's a big part that most people don't think about. That's if these guys aren't in the weight room, watching film, going through their playbooks, or in class. I mean, that's their life. If they're not on the practice field, they're probably in the weight room or the video room. But that was a huge retention by Fulmer and Pruitt to get him to turn down his alma mater, when they were backing up the money truck.
Yeah. I think Boogie and I mentioned that that impromptu live video that we done a few weeks ago
with our closet in the background.
Yeah, closet in the background, mirror in the background, and all that. So, but yeah, I 100% agree, Dauber, because as we've seen down there at Tennessee over the last 10 plus years, it's been a revolving door in the strength and conditioning program, and it's been evident on the field, because I mean, we get waxed by Vanderbilt, and I mean,
we opened up with Appy State, and they were pushing us all over.
Exactly.
And the year prior, we were
most physical team,
toe to toe with Alabama.
Yeah.
And then we come out the next year with a new strength and conditioning coach, a new philosophy, and we're getting manhandled up and down the field against Appy State. That's not where Tennessee football should be. But I think, Pruitt understands SEC football, and I think that's where Butch Jones didn't translate. He was a very gimmicky coach, and the things that worked for him at Central Michigan and at Cincinnati didn't translate to the SEC.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he's a bad coach. It just didn't work in big boy football.
I'm saying he's a bad coach, but
if he was here right now, he'd tell Dauber to work on his microphone discipline.
Yeah, really, right?
Hey guys, anybody?
What y'all think about Maurer?
Anybody listening to the live chat real quick? Dauber, this is Dauber's first podcast. We were going to do it tomorrow, and he's got a new microphone coming in the mail. So just bear with us through this one show, and we'll get him dialed in moving forward. So go ahead.
What did y'all think about Maurer?
Dude, I was so high on him that first half. He looked so good. And then he threw the 2 picks in the second half. But that's a freshman.
He's got some skills.
He looks good. He's got good pocket awareness or presence. Goodness gracious.
Strong arm.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. I thought he had some good zip on the ball.
Yeah, man, he looked really good. I was very impressed. He was an Elite 11 quarterback, right?
Yeah.
I think you can chalk those picks up for true freshmen being amped up.
Oh yeah, yeah.
First time in Neyland with fans there. He had to have been jacked up, man.
You think he ends up being behind Garantano?
Honestly, I have no idea because I've never seen Shroud even attempt to pass. So
looking at the two of them today, it's not even a competition in my eyes. But that's
I tell you what, you look at you got Chaney developing him, and look at what he did with Eason at Georgia. He takes those young, semi-mobile quarterbacks with good arm strength, and he can dial up packages for them, that it complements them very well. Yeah, I mean, Stroud he's supposed to be more accurate than Garantano, supposedly, but it's hard to tell. I think, the fact that they've got Winky now, a dedicated quarterback coach, which is something, we've lacked. Dobbs went through his tenure at Tennessee without a position coach. I mean, you think of what he could have done. Everybody, dogged him and knocked him. Oh, he can't throw the ball. He can't throw the ball. His senior season, he led the SEC in multiple quarterback statistics based on his pure athletic ability. If he had a coach, harnessing his talents and teaching him, just think where he could have gone.
I mean, the guy's in the NFL. He's a quarterback, right? I mean, there's no question about it. You don't go to the NFL as a quarterback.
Absolutely.
If you can't throw the football. Look at Tebow. Look at Tim Tebow.
Mm-hmm.
But
let's just hope that Shroud or Maurer, neither one has to be in during any meaningful snaps this year for sure. But with the offensive line and knowing that Garantano has been injury prone, but who wouldn't be after some of the vicious hits that he's taken the last couple of years?
That's why he was eating. They
I'm
showed
surprised
that
he's still got any ribs or anything,
But he finished last season. He said, "I'm gonna put on about 20 pounds." He's eating double cheeseburgers and
for breakfast.
Yeah, scrambled eggs and golly, what a plate of food. They said he was eating 4,000 to 6,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
He's like, screw this, man. If I can't get an offensive line, I'm gonna have to bulk up.
He's on a Vols JP diet, sounds to me like there, man.
I've never seen somebody eat 6,000 calories to just be diesel. I mean, I can eat 6,000 calories just be fat, man.
I've done it a few times.
Yeah, I do it every day.
Oh, goodness. What do you think about the defense today?
Honestly, it just kind of felt irrelevant to me.
Well, it's all, I mean, because they're not going to show anything. I mean, it's all vanilla. I thought there were some good plays by the defensive line. I'm excited. I think that Emmett Gooden can be a real star for us. I thought he was probably our most active defensive lineman, especially at times last year. I think that he's got the potential. I think that just getting him to play consistently, I think that's the challenge there. I think he's one of those that it's the being able to zone in and give that effort every single play. I think that's the challenge with him. And, I think that it would be huge, obviously, if we can get that Solomon kid cleared so where he can play this year, because probably as far as talent goes, he probably has the most talent of any of our defensive linemen. They've been saying that is it Mincy that's had a strong camp, and I think they even mentioned that Matthew Butler had come on and had a pretty good camp. So if we could get anything out of Butler and Emerson, I mean, Greg Emerson, I mean, coming out of high school, I mean, I would have thought that boy would have been, a 3-and-done player, and then he got hurt in his senior year. And I think that, I don't know, they just talk about that he's just not very, very explosive and stuff, but maybe it's because of that ankle injury that he experienced. But I think that if we could get some help from those guys, I think that our potential to win, 7, possibly 8 football games goes way up.
Yeah. Well, they posted some coaching interviews on VolQuest this week, and you're right. Coach Rocker was saying that Matthew Butler was probably the best guy, best of his guys as far as the best spring. It said he wanted more leadership, consistency from Gooden. JJ Banks in the chat says, who's going to be our pass rusher? I don't think it's a question, right?
Be Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor. But it goes back to consistency, man. He's got to bring it every game. How many games last year did he not have a single sack? But then he would come up and have 2 or 3 sacks in one game. He's got to be consistent week in and week out. But you got to have somebody else step up. It can't just be Taylor. And that goes for the entire front 7.
Crouch had a big play, and the dude doesn't look like a freshman body size and shape. I mean, he's coming in if he can.
He's a killer. You got a mute on that thing. Calm down. Jeez.
If Crouch can,
I did mute it, and it still went through
the playbook, and see the field. I think he can be kind of one of those impact players coming kind of off the bench, out of the main rotation, out of the starters. He can fill in and take some meaningful snaps in the linebacking core.
He's a big kid too, man.
Yeah.
Big kid. Do you guys think that Kirkland ever plays snap at Tennessee again?
He's done.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of too.
I hate it for him because I think he had real potential. But man, after he hurt his ankle up there at Bristol, it was just downhill from then on.
But and basically, with what Pruitt said last week, he said, yeah, he probably needs another 8 to 9 months of rehab. So it doesn't look good for him, and I hate it for him too, because he had such a high ceiling after coming out and playing lights out when he first broke on the scene, and then just injury bug bit him and he couldn't shake it.
JJ Banks, he must have just come straight off the grass at Shields Watkins Field and jumped into the Talkin VAWLS podcast. But he's asking guys if we think that Roman Harrison can contribute this fall. And I think that when we were talking about when we'd done our podcast after signing day, I think that I'd mentioned that Roman Harrison was probably the most intriguing signee that I'm interested in seeing. He played out of position in high school. He actually played nose guard, but he is quick as a cat. And I would love for him to show up this summer and carve out a pass rushing role for this defense this fall, because we all know that getting pressure on the quarterback is such a key, and that's one thing Tennessee has certainly struggled with over the last couple of years since Barnett left, for sure. So yes, I definitely think that there's an opportunity for him. Of course, if he comes in and 18-year-old kid, he's going to be playing a position that he's probably hasn't played. So, I think we'd have to temper our expectations there. But what you can hope for is if Pruitt and Rumpf and Ansley can, find a role for somebody like Roman Harrison, if he truly does show that potential to be able to get to the quarterback.
Well, I think Pruitt has shown he's going to put the best team out there. If he's showing out on the practice field, he'll find the field.
Well, the linebackers were they're one of those groups that we keep hearing how great they're doing, but we say that every year on this podcast. We hear it every spring. Guys balling out, guys looking like studs. But until week one shows up, none of it matters. It's all irrelevant until the season starts.
It is. I mean, that's the thing, and I'll be excited. I mean, we got what 3 more months, 4 more months. So those kids are going to be down there continuing to work in, and hopefully they can continue to get stronger and build up their strength and become just a more physical football team, because that's what it's going to take to be able to compete. But I'm excited for them. I'm excited. I'm excited about the coaching staff. I think that we got some tremendous coaches down there. I love seeing T. Martin back down there. I absolutely love that. I think Ansley is just a tremendous young defensive-minded coach. We'll be very interested to see that position and how he handles that as the defensive coordinator, and see how much hands-on that Pruitt has with that still. I think we're probably kidding ourselves if we don't think that Jeremy Pruitt is going to be very, very much involved in that defensive scheme for sure.
And he should be. He should be. But I was surprised. A lot of times, Tennessee fans like to talk about ESPN and ESPN hating on Tennessee, but man, they were singing that coaching staff's praises today. Even saying they could be one of the best coaching staffs in the country. What do you got? 16, I think they said, national championships among the coaches, and tons of All-Americans and.
Well, that's what I said whenever they hired Pruitt. Obviously he has to do it as a head coach, but Jeremy Pruitt knows what kind of football player it takes to win at a high level. And, whether or not he'll be ever successful here, we can certainly hope so, but we have no idea if that's going to happen. But as a Tennessee fan, I think that you have to be encouraged by not only what Pruitt's been able to do by bringing these coaches in and so forth, but I think that, gosh, after all of the fiasco that's went on down there in that athletic department over the 10 plus years, getting Phil Fulmer back and actually showing somebody that actually cares about athletics down there. I think that, that you have to be certainly encouraged and feel like maybe that this black cloud is finally starting to lift over this football program, because I don't think any of the three of us and probably anybody listening out there watching this probably expects Tennessee to go on a run what Alabama's doing or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. But there is no reason that Tennessee football should not be able to compete for the SEC East every single year, and Tennessee fans should expect to go and play for the SEC championship, in my opinion, every 3 to 4 years. I just think that's what it should be.
Well, this podcast followed that coaching search fiasco. We were on it. We got our binoculars out looking. Right, we're down at the airport in Knoxville trying to track everything. What a sense of relief it was for us when they hired Fulmer, brought Fulmer in. We felt like, and maybe it's because when we were born, we're all Fulmer guys. And it was just a sense of relief when he took over. And we started it at the top of this podcast tonight, talking about the difference of just everything going on in Knoxville right now. Keeping Barnes, making moves. Look at the coaching staff that Pruitt has built. It just feels like we have turned a corner, and the Tennessee athletic program is finally going back in the right direction.
Well, one thing, Fulmer's a Tennessee guy. If there's anybody who bleeds orange, it's him. When he was let go, he could have had another coaching job anywhere. he could have found another job, but he didn't. He kind of hung around. I think Hart eventually gave him some kind of title, liaison to something or whatever. But I think he knows what it takes to be successful. He had a good athletic director in Doug Dickey, another former coach. And, I think having a Tennessee guy at the helm helps, but also having a guy who knows what it takes. And Fulmer knows that it's not necessarily the head coach. And I think that's a point kind of back to the top of the show, talking about Barnes and his loyalty to his assistants and trying to get more money for the assistants. Those guys know that it's not necessarily about them, but the staff they surround themselves with. And Pruitt has assembled this staff. And yeah, the accolades on paper, the rings that they have, the All-Americans, the award winners, there's a lot of pedigree to the people and the talent they've coached, but it all looks good on paper. Can it translate to the field? Can it translate to the recruits they're bringing in? And I think it will, because I think these guys are the type of guys who they are going to coach, they are going to mentor, they are going to not have the talent come in and just kind of plateau off like we've seen in the past. You've had guys come in that they've not progressed, they've not gotten any better, and 4 stars, 5 stars transfer out of the program and then go lead the NCAA in multiple receiving stats. It's like Pruitt said at the end of last season, we need to get guys in that are going to do it the right way. And it's from the weight room to the nutrition to taking, being in class serious. Yeah.
JJ Banks in the chat says JP and his groomers. I'm glad some of you guys were along for the ride with us through that coaching search. But just to keep harping on this coaching staff, man. Going back to the Butch Jones era, right? And his big press conference. I'm gonna bring the best coaches in the country to Knoxville, and he brings a bunch of idiots from Cincinnati. I mean, come on. The difference in the staffs between that group and now, it's just, man, it's just a world of difference. A world of difference. JP, when's Gruden coming?
No, I don't think he is anymore.
Oh, you sure?
Yeah, I don't think so. Hey, but last what was it? Was it last Sunday when Barnes when it came out that he was thinking about going to UCLA Sunday and then Monday and all that?
Yeah.
The rumor has it that Phil Jackson has land in Dandridge.
You been down at the airport again with your binoculars?
Yeah, right.
Let's put Dauber on the spot. Well, I'll put us all on the spot, really. We talked about on the impromptu live stream, the first live stream ever, right here on Talkin VAWLS. We talked about expectations for next year. Looking at 6-6, 7-5, maybe just making a bowl game, man. Making a bowl game is what we want. Does your expectation change? Do you see anything that makes it change? What do we not see that they see? How is ESPN? I know it's preseason and that doesn't mean anything, but how do they have this Tennessee football team in the top 15? Are we just battered wife syndrome? We just don't want to buy in. Is that what it is?
We've been beat down. I mean,
Yeah.
That's like I said to a buddy the other day with the whole Barnes thing. That's about as Tennessee as it can be. I mean, it's just, if anything can happen and anything off the wall happen, it's going to happen to Tennessee.
Guys in the chat, real quick, we're going to talk about this. What are your expectations for the season? Put it in the chat what you think their record will be or should be. Go ahead, Dauber. Keep going. Keep rolling.
I really think the goal is a bowl game. Not just the bowl game, but the extra practices that come along with that are huge to a team that's in the growth, and I don't want to call it rebuilding. We're growing and progressing, and cycling out some of the old era, changing the mentality, changing the culture, and I think that's the key. I 8 wins is attainable. I mean, if we can kind of get on a roll. I know we open off with a pretty favorable schedule. We don't have to go through a murderer's row quite as bad as we did last year. But you build on. I know it's super cliche, but you build on one game at a time. I mean, they've got to grow and improve, and make those changes one game at a time.
I mean, if that team last year can beat Auburn on the road, then what can this team do this year? The problem is consistency, right?
Well, and I think that's, Auburn had their inconsistencies, and I think we caught them at a good time. And I think, I don't want to say Kentucky overlooked us, but I mean, we played our best game of the year against Kentucky. We're coming in, I think at that time, a top 10 team, weren't they? Hadn't they just cracked the top 10?
Top 10, top 15. They were up there.
And I mean, we played a complete game, all facets that game. And if all the pieces fall together, it's like my golf game. I mean,
they ain't going bowling if they're going to follow your golf game.
Oh, okay.
Gosh, we're in trouble.
I mean, if everything's clicking, I mean, this team has potential. They have the talent. They have the coaching. It's just, we've got to stay healthy, and we do have to have a couple of kind of relatively unknowns step up and assume some positions and make impact plays.
We got 13 in the live chat. Thank you guys for joining us on a random Saturday afternoon in the spring. Looking forward to doing these live streams. Oh, wow, jumped up to 15 in the live chat. Looking forward to doing these live streams going forward, man. The interaction with you guys is a lot of fun. We appreciate you joining us. Do us a favor, hit that like button. It'll promote this podcast more than you would ever be aware of. YouTube is weird, but if you hit that like button, leave us a comment, all that good stuff. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I don't know if did you guys get notifications tonight when we went live? We're trying to plan ahead, schedule the events ahead of time. That way you guys will see them pop up and you can join us. And yes, I know we changed the time this week, but we're going to try to be consistent with that so you guys can join in with us. But again, do us a favor, hit the like button. What about you, JP? Anything change? You still just looking to go bowling?
Yeah, I mean, it's still bowling. I'm sitting here replying back to one of these chats here. I appreciate everybody chiming in with that. But yeah, to me, I mean, it's still, we've got to make a bowl game. I mean, Pruitt has to make a bowl game because we've got to continue to recruit better. I know we finished 12th in the nation, but that's probably going to be about 8th in the Southeastern Conference. So we've got to do better. I mean, we have got to make a bowl game. We have got to show improvement this year. But like I just put right there in the chat, to me, it's still all come down to whether this offensive line can improve, because I think we can all agree that was probably, it was painful to watch last year. I mean, it was painful to watch those kids out there. Part of it was they weren't strong enough. They weren't athletic enough. Part of it was they just didn't act like that they knew what they were doing. So I don't really know what the problem was, but you hope that they're better this year, and you hope that with the offensive lines or the offensive linemen that we signed this year, especially Darnell Wright and Landy Morris, that the talent is going to improve. And it all comes down to me whether or not that we can block and we can keep Garantano from being put on his backside 100
Broken in
times a
half.
game. Yeah, broken in half. And then, to me, again, it's the defensive line as well. I mean, if they're getting pushed back and we're not able to get off blocks and our linebackers are getting cut, we would watch it. I would sit there and watch those games last year, and you would watch the good teams, and it was amazing how their offensive linemen were able to get to the second level. And then you would watch our offensive linemen, and it was like they were lucky to even touch the guy that was even in front of them, let alone get to the second level. So, I mean, it's just, to me, that's just what it's going to boil down to. I mean, we could have 5 Deion Sanders in the backfield, or, in the back end on the defense, and we could have 3 Al Wilsons playing linebacker. But if we got Slaw up front, it's not really going to matter. And
I don't know, man. You take that lineup, put me, you, and Dauber on the defensive line. I think we could win some ball games. Boys.
Oh yeah.
Robert Craig says, "Let's go bowling." Michael Palmer says, "The D line."
Where are we going, Craig? We going up to Johnson City to the Holiday Lanes?
Hey, old Robert Craig's a regular there, buddy. Don't get him started on bowling. Talking about the offensive line, what we saw today. Obviously talking about Wright and talking about Morris. Can they contribute as true freshmen? Brandon Kennedy, man, we kind of ripped on that guy for some things he did early, but then we realized when he went down how big of a factor that was. Having him back once he gets healthy and gets back in the mix. And Trey Smith, man, I know it's up in the air. We don't know, but golly, if he can come back, look at that right there. Look at that. If you got Morris and Wright, Kennedy, Smith, the offensive line has the opportunity to be a lot better than they were last year. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be better, but the opportunity is there. If this offensive line can take a few steps forward, then I think we're going to see some special stuff with this offense, with Jim Chaney, going back to what Dauber said, getting the ball to playmakers in space, letting them make plays. Man, I think the potential is there. Maybe that's what ESPN sees that we don't see.
Well, I mean, I think the ESPN is seeing that, and seeing. I think a lot of that has to do with the coaching staff, and I think that a lot of that has to do with the incoming talent that they've got, and probably that they probably feel like that Pruitt's a pretty good football coach. I think that's probably has to do with all that. When I saw that out, because what they sent that out, was that right after signing day when they released that top 25. It was sometime around there. I mean,
it's been out. It's been out for a while. They talked about it today, but it's been out for a while.
But I mean, that absolutely floored me. I was like, no, wait a minute, guys. You mean to tell me that football team that we saw last year, especially that offensive line, if we don't improve there's no way we're the top 15. I mean, I would have hated to have played some of those teams last year. I mean, there's just no way. I mean, look what Alabama done to us. And I know Alabama does that to a lot of people, but I mean, that was freaking embarrassing. I mean, that first half was absolutely. I mean, it was like 21-0, and they still was like 10 minutes to go.
Oh, it could have been a lot worse than it was. It could have been way worse.
I mean, it's just embarrassing. And I mean, we couldn't run, we couldn't block, we couldn't tackle, we couldn't do anything. But I mean, if they told, if I could sit here, what's this, April? If I could sit here 8 months from now and say that Tennessee finishes the regular season ranked 15th in the nation, I'm like, sign me up for that. Sign me up for that, because
we'll be dancing in the streets.
Yeah, I mean, Tennessee's probably playing in a New Year's Day bowl somewhere if they finish 15th in the nation. So, definitely sign me up for that. But I'll have to see this offensive line get a whole lot better before I think that this football team can finish 15th in the nation.
If Tennessee finishes in the top 15, will you dye your hair orange?
Yeah, I mean, probably will. I mean, it
No,
ain't no big
it's a
deal.
yes or no question.
Yeah, I mean, I can always take it out. I mean, can I can just dye it brown the next day, I guess.
This would have been way more fun if you'd interacted better and said, well, I guess. Oh, man.
I've got a mute button here. I need to cough again.
It's on the screen, brother. There, you're muted. Cough away. See how that works? The powers of YouTube. Now your mic's back on.
I've got a mute on my. You can hear me now?
Yeah.
Huh. So this mute here on my headset doesn't work then.
What you're telling me is that microphone's a real piece of crap. It's on the way to being as bad as Dauber's, but it ain't quite got there yet.
Does it sound bad? Do I sound bad?
No, you sound fine. Dauber sounds horrible.
Well,
Appreciate it.
Just dog him, man. Just dog him out.
Look at mine. I got electrical tape on mine, brother. Hey, Robert Craig in the live chat. Look at that PK Subban shirt. Please don't put the score in the chat. I have not watched the game yet. Oh man, I didn't tell you. I'm never making chili again. I lost the chili cook-off.
Did you?
Yeah.
I told you you should have got my McCormick recipe. You'd have won hands down.
Some jerk he said he put brown sugar and milk. Did I talk about this? I feel like I've talked about this on
Yeah, you said something about brown sugar and milk.
Maybe I already told the story. Yeah, I lost.
Huh.
Anyway.
I've never had chili with milk in it before that I know of.
We got 17 in the live chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight as we talk about chili. We have been talking a little bit about Tennessee football. What else? Anything else you guys want to talk about that you saw in the orange and white game or expectations for next year?
I'll throw in our secret recipe for
you're
chili.
the chef. You're the chef.
Yeah, dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate.
I've heard that before.
Wow.
I've never heard milk in chili, but I have heard dark chocolate.
I've not heard that either.
Dark chocolate, really? I like to try that, dog.
Yeah,
Yes,
JJ
sir.
Banks. They said they put brown sugar, which is normal. Some people like sweet chili. That's cool. I could see that being good, but milk in the chili.
So, did you even eat the chili?
Not the one that won.
Well, I was going to say because you don't eat beans, because I know that.
Yeah, but I do now. Just in my chili.
Because when you used to come over here for games and I'd have chili, you wouldn't eat it.
Yeah,
I'm not going to eat.
I don't really like beans that much, but I've started eating them some.
And man, you give me a
Rob Rockwell said Boogie loves him some brown sugar. I do, brother.
You give me a bowl of soup, beans, and some hot Mexican cornbread that my mama makes. Oh my goodness, boys! I'd be signing off of this thing in a second if I had that in front of me.
Do you know how fun it's going to be when the season rolls around and we decide to live stream immediately after the games? How bad it's going to be. We've always given ourselves a day to calm down. You might just see me walk off camera and out the door and walk to your house. I'll walk out this side, and then you'll see me walk across into your camera, slap you across the face. You'll be ready to fire Cheney after 1 week. What's the over under? What's the over under in the chat? How many weeks till JP wants to fire somebody? I bet
it'll be after the first series. I'll be like, he's in over his head. He's in over his head.
It'll never make it out of the first game. It'll definitely be the first quarter, if not the first series. We got 17 in the live chat. Guys, thanks so much for listening. Do us a favor, jump over, smash that like button. Oh, man, we're just having fun now. We're not even talking about football. Does that bother you guys, or do you like when we just sit here and rip on each other and have a good time, talk about chili? We can talk about my Peyton Manning autographed football back here if you guys want. Let's talk about the man caves. Dauber, what do you got? What do you got back there? You got anything special behind you? Wow, he's got a mobile camera.
Little things. It's a laptop, brother. Got my 98 jersey that Fulmer signed. Wrote 98 national champs. Got my Manning jersey.
I can match that. Look right up here. That's the newspaper that came out the day after the national championship. Fulmer signed it. Thanks to DA for hooking me up with that.
Got a Manning helmet. Fulmer and Pruitt. Couple little things. John Ward right there. When I was in school down there, helping with marketing, doing a basketball game. Got to go talk to John Ward prior to a game, and
That would have been awesome.
what a cool dude, man.
Yeah.
He, just to hear him say my name, it gave me chills. He shook my hand, talked to me for 3 or 4 minutes. I've met Fulmer a couple times too, a couple times in school, and at a function that I was able to go to with work this past year after he was hired on as AD, and it was really neat to hear him say, I said, Coach, I appreciate everything you're doing at the university, and I hope I had my son with me, and I said, I hope that my son gets to see Tennessee football reestablish itself to where it was when I was growing up. I hope that he's able to see that because I have a lot of good memories of watching football with my dad, and just being able to share that with him. I hope that's something that I can share in and instill, a love and passion for Tennessee football with my son.
Man, it's sad when you see the kids now at my daughter's school, and they're all wearing Alabama crap. Our generation was just so spoiled for Tennessee, Tennessee football.
We looked at 9 wins as, oh God, that's a horrible season. We were terribly, disillusioned. JP says, we get 8 wins. He's dyeing his hair. But
that's official. That's confirmed right here on the live stream.
9 wins was a bad season when we were growing up. We took it for granted. And that's just the landscape of college football has changed so much. We're guys that day and time Tennessee knocked on their door, sent them a letter. They were going to Tennessee. Now those guys are, Kentucky, Vanderbilt, South Carolina, Clemson, all these schools that, they wouldn't have thought twice about if Tennessee offered. We're competing with those schools. And it shows on the field. Our level of play and the level of talent has, where we were up here, it's leveled off, and in some cases we've dropped, and it's just that needs to correct itself before the program emerges back to where we want it to be.
JJ Banks in the live chat says he actually caught some passes from Peyton Manning in 1996. I'm convinced that Jeremy Banks is in the live chat with us. Sean Calvert says, if you guys are in Tri-Cities, can you bring me some pals? # Knoxville problems. I would love to bring you some pals. Big pal with cheese and bacon and a large Frenchy fry is Boogie's order of choice. Michael Palmer says Shrout has the big arm everybody talks about. Bryant Rockwell, # Justin's beard is trending in the chat. Robert Craig says, Justin, dump the mic. Guys, anybody just now joining us in the live chat? We were going to do this tomorrow. Dauber's got a microphone on the way. It's just not showed up yet. So the audio issues with his mic going up and down will be fixed moving forward.
Sorry about that, guys.
No problem. No problem. It will be corrected, so don't worry about it.
You didn't ask me about my man cave.
It really looks like you're sitting in the discount section of Big Lots or something.
Really? With that Tennessee helmet?
You moved it into the closet, man.
That is a real helmet. That is a real official helmet.
It's beautiful. What's that lamp?
I could have put that helmet on and went down there today and got destroyed by somebody, by some walk-on.
Well, you said we had 5 Neon Dions in the backfield and 3 Al Wilsons. I'm pretty sure, man, I'm telling you, that's 8, the 3 of us. Yeah, 11 strong.
Yeah, buddy. Now, I've got all kinds of pictures and stuff. I just don't have them up. I've been boycotting putting these pictures up, but I'll get the man cave set up for this fall.
Hey, guys in the chat, who's got the best man cave, Boogie, Dauber, or Vols JP? I got to see this. You guys got to put it in the live chat. Hey, Jason Lawson jumping in, the first Alabama fan to ever join the live chat. Guys, take it easy on him. He's doing us a favor by being here. but I'm still waiting. Oh, who's got the best man cave? I want to know. Man, we're just having fun now. I don't know what else to say. As we can't have downtime. Thanks, Robert Craig says I have the best man cave. JP, are you getting season tickets this year? That might.
No.
What about you, Dauber?
No.
Good. I was going to say that might impact our ability to live stream immediately after the game.
I mean, I'm not saying that I might not go to a game.
Yeah, we'll play it by ear, guys. Just look for the events each week. We want to do them after the game. It'll be more fun, kind of like a post game show. But if not, we'll do them Sunday evening.
I'd say that Dauber goes to a lot, though, don't you, Dauber?
Yeah, I go to a handful with work. Sit in the skybox occasionally.
That was a fun.
Had to throw that in, didn't he?
Hey, the best thing he did was he hooked me and Robert Craig in the chat up with a tour of the locker room down in Neyland. That was awesome.
Yeah, I've been there, done that.
Oh, I've been there, done that. I'm special.
No, I didn't say that.
Anything else you guys want to add? Anything else?
Once the season starts, it's going to be on like Donkey Kong. I guarantee you.
I know. I'm telling you, it's going to happen in the first week. First week we'll be off and running.
Year 2. I'm excited.
I hate to tell you guys, but I'm flooding the chat that I'm winning with the best man cave.
Well, that's all cool. I mean, I don't know what kind of little Barbie dolls you play with back there, but it's cool.
You can't even see my.
My
Dale Murphy autographed baseball here.
That's cool.
Look at that. Look at that. Dale Murphy. Got a Dale Murphy autographed jersey on the wall too, but whatever.
I've got a Michael Jordan rookie card.
Is this fun? Is this a fun live chat? We've got more people in the live chat right now than we have ever, and we're just talking about our stupid man caves. And those are Walking Dead pops, you jerk.
I've got a Peyton Manning rookie card.
Is that Jim Mint 10?
Yes, sir.
You are not gonna believe this deal. Why in the heck did you start a football or baseball trading card Facebook group? What's your deal with that?
Man, I love collecting ball cards, man. You ought to get into it. It's fun.
I don't have the money to do that.
I don't either.
I freaking read comic books. I'm broke.
Yeah. I love collecting ball cards.
You guys want to talk about the orange and white game anymore? Or you got any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
I mean, to me, they are what they are. I mean, it's spring game, and again, my main thing is we got out there healthy. Now let's get to pumping some iron, taking some deer antler spray, whatever it is, getting on the juice, whatever they got to do to get stronger and faster and better and win some football games. Let's just win some football. I think everybody watching this tonight and in the chat just wants to win some football games. Do whatever they got to do within the legal limits. Okay.
It doesn't have to be legal. I don't care if they cheat as long as they don't get caught.
Yeah.
Just win, baby. Just win. Did anybody see an update on Palmer? Do we know how bad it is? It was definitely his shoulder, and it looked bad.
Somebody posted a picture that after the spring game, he was standing there accepting the trophy or whatever, the award for most improved offensive player. So, whether or not that was some troll or not, who knows, posting it.
They give out awards for the spring game?
Yeah. Yeah, they always do that, man. How many years have you been a Tennessee fan? How many years you
for the spring camp, not necessarily the game.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
For the spring camp.
Yeah. The most improved offensive player and the most improved.
How long you been watching football, you jerk?
For football, let's say I'm 40 years. I'll be 41 this year.
Don't tell me an exact day.
And I was 4 years old, and I remember the Redskins playing in the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, I've been a Redskin fan ever since. It's been rough.
Being a Redskins fan's made me quit watching the NFL. I just watch hockey now, but I'm here live streaming with you guys and missed the game.
I just can't get into the hockey.
How about a big shout out to the baseball Vols?
Yeah, they took 2 out of 3 from the Georgia Bulldogs.
They lose today.
They lost today.
Yeah,
Beating the number 2 ranked Bulldogs. That's always good.
Yeah, I think that coach, Tony Vitello, is that his name? I think that he's got a good philosophy, and I think that if he can continue, I think I think next year that we can be good.
Mitchell Scott in the live chat says, got drunk and got a Tennessee tattoo last night. If that's the truth, tweet it to @Talkin VAWLS _pod. I want to see it. Oh, man. That's
Take them over to Clinch and feed them some beans and cornbread. That's what I'm talking about, Tim Bradley.
That's hilarious.
Michael Palmer. Oh, we got a boy from Rogersville. Ravel.
Oh, man. You guys are awesome in the live chat.
I went to school.
Timothy Bradley says even the Redskins fans up here in Maryland don't like the Redskins.
Yeah, that ain't that the truth, Timothy Bradley?
I saw a guy.
Absolutely ruined that franchise.
I'm not going to say that. I'm just going to let it go. Never mind. I'll tell you all off air. Oh, man. 20 people in the live chat. Thank you guys for joining us on a random Saturday night. You guys want us to keep rambling, or have you heard? I feel like they're having more fun now than they do when we talk about football. What the heck is happening? Topper joins and we're just going to video ourselves acting like idiots all night long.
Boogie, don't look at the chat anymore.
Somebody put the score.
Well, not necessarily the score, but the outcome.
Oh gosh, guys, don't spoil it for me. I got the game recording. You guys see this shirt? PK approved. But I had to get on, jump on, do the live stream real quick. Then I'm going to go watch the Preds game. It sucks, man. They played at 9:30. I got to get up at 5:15 to go to work. Played at 9:30 the other night, and then on Saturday they play at 6. And right when the orange and white game starts. Monday, right back to 9:30 when I got to get up at 5:15.
Didn't they lose Monday night?
Yeah.
Whenever they played.
Yeah. They need to put more shots on net, man. And they got to fix the power play. They're good. They're playing good on the PK, but the power play is freaking terrible, man.
Are all those plaques back there autographed?
Yeah. Yeah, they're signed.
The hockey ones.
Uh-huh. They're all autographed.
Whatever. They're not.
None of them are. They were cheap, man. But they're cool. I like them. They look good. Mike Fisher. Oh, man. JJ Banks says, just keep going. Boogie's Barbie dolls. That's not funny, Bryant Rockwell.
Oh.
Lawson wants to know how long we'll be on live tomorrow. That's Comic Cast, not Talkin VAWLS, but probably 2 hours.
2 hours about a comic book?
Brandy Adams says, Boogie's Barbie dolls. Shut up, Brandy. That's not funny.
It says B. Adams.
Well, I know who it is. Robert Craig, yeah, we can go to a game if you'll pay for it. Oh, man.
Pay for what, bowling?
No, to go to a Preds playoffs game.
Oh,
I forgot.
I thought he was wanting to go up the Holiday Lanes.
Dauber went to Nashville with us last year for a Preds game. That's all we'll say. We won't say anything else about that trip.
I can only imagine.
Oh, man.
Michael Palmer grew up down around Persia. Cool. Yeah, I spent some time down in Robble. That's down in God's country.
I thought East Tennessee was God's country. I guess Rogersville's East Tennessee. We just don't claim it.
Roggville. Yeah, Roggville.
Robble. Is that?
Robble.
What if we get old, what's his name?
From down there in Rogersville.
What if we get old Jerry from Bulls Gap to join us in the live chat?
He's probably, if we had a way to get a hold of him, I guarantee he would join in.
Man, we're guys, you want us to stay on, but we don't have much else to say. Hit us with some questions in the live chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this thing up.
I was trying to find an update on Palmer. I'm not really seeing anything.
Michael Palmer says outcome Vols won.
Yeah,
they did win.
That's what I said. Today, always the spring game is is a good day because we get to watch our Vols play, and we know without a shadow of doubt that the Vols are going to win. So
1-0, baby.
Yeah, we don't have to sit here and be like breaking out in sweats and absolutely like gnawing on our fingernails and stomach feel like it's got like 4,000 pounds sitting in it and just churning and just agonizing over another heartbreaking defeat. Vols won. Vols won. That's all that matters.
That makes for a good day.
Sure does.
We got 18 in the live chat. If you guys want us to keep rolling,
and do you guys think we
jump over and hit the like button?
Oh, line up in a true 3-4 this year more than nickel. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think that all of that, a lot of that's going to depend on what
personnel.
Kind of offenses. Yeah. The personnel that the offense is throwing out there. I mean, so many of these teams now run that hurry up, spread power, thing where, I think that it's that the defenses feel like that they almost have to be in nickel most of the time. Now, if you're going to play somebody that is going to predominantly run the football, I think we could line up certainly in that 3-4. But I would dare say that we'll probably be in nickel, just pretty much the same that we were last year. What do you think?
It's going to depend on who we're playing, and I mean you look at Alabama, they were more of a power team with Hurts, and then Tua comes along and they're slinging the ball all over the field. The defense is going to be dictated by who we're playing and the personnel they have on the field. I mean, it's spread pass happy teams, yeah, we're gonna be heavy on the back end, but I mean there's an opportunity, I think, for a lot of people to step into the rotation. I hit on earlier Crouch. I think he and a couple of the others, even as true freshmen, could be big impact players in limited roles, but limited roles that are meaningful snaps.
Robert Craig wants to know if we think the offense will be more focused on the wide receiving unit or the running backs. Let me tell you what, those are two groups that are pretty talented from top to bottom. I mean, look at the running backs with Chandler and Jordan, and then if Jeremy Bates can protect the football, the running backs are going to be studs, man. That's three solid running backs. And the wide receivers, man, young and talented too. Heck, look, Callaway and Jennings, and they're moving Jennings around a lot. If you put him in the slot, send him over the middle, let him make catches, let him hit people, man. That's what he wants to do. Let him do it. Let him play physical. But
I think that Palmer has an opportunity to really do some good things, but now he's going to be more of our deep threat guy. And, again, I go back to it. It's like beating a dead horse, if the offensive line can give them time.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Well, I mean, there were times last year where we couldn't run block. So we couldn't run the ball. We couldn't set up the pass with the run. We couldn't pass block. So, we're not leading with the pass to set up the run. A play action doesn't work. It's all gonna boil down to, can we put a hat on a hat, hold the line, get JG some time back there to throw the ball, open up holes for the running backs to hit. Get to that second level like you talked about earlier, JP. We've got to block and then go downhill with it.
You know who I'd like to see have a big season? Tyler Bird. That's a guy we expected things from, and he's been irrelevant. Been moved around, no consistency. Senior year, I'd love to see that guy, step up and make some plays. I think he was targeted more today than he has been in the last 3 years.
Well, I mean that speaks to Chaney.
Yeah.
I mean, keying in on guys that can make stuff happen.
Guys, this is awesome. We got 22 people in the live chat right now. How can we sign off when you guys just keep flooding in like this? We appreciate it. We appreciate you guys joining us on this random Saturday evening after the orange and white game. Do us a favor, jump over, smash the like button. I'm going to keep saying it because it helps more than you know, and we do appreciate you joining in. Any more questions in the live chat?
I just typed there. I said hail instead of help.
You said no cussing. Calm down.
Well, I didn't mean to. But yeah, I mean, I'm excited about Palmer for sure. I think that he's got potential. There's no doubt about it. And you know, you're talking about Tyler Bird. I mean, I can remember his freshman year, and the few times that he caught passes. I mean, you was like, man, this kid can be a playmaker. And then it's just like he's just disappeared.
That's probably my fault.
You know, I just wonder, you know, something that we haven't talked about is, you know, now that spring practice is over with, I mean, just wonder realistically how many of those guys that went through spring practice and the orange and white game today are going to end up transferring out. I mean, I'm just, you know, what we think, maybe 5, 6.
I don't know. I really thought we'd have a lot at
I
the
did
end
too.
of last season.
I did.
We had
I'm
what,
shocked.
1 or 2?
Yeah, I mean, I was shocked.
I mean, it was very limited, and I thought, you know, especially with Pruitt coming out and saying some of the things he said about, you know,
yeah, calling the players out basically.
Yeah. But I mean, it's again, I'm going to go back to the point I made earlier. You know, you've got the team buying in, you've got recruits buying in, you've got coaches, and you know they're buying in. You know, they're jumping ship from a conference rival to come to Tennessee to coach.
To play devil's advocate with that, how long does that last? How long does that last? How long can you buy in? How long can he keep this team? How long can you keep selling the program to recruits? You gotta win. You gotta win football games. And for us, yeah, we can sit here and say 6-6 in a bowl game. We consider that a success. But does a 17, 18-year-old kid making a decision where he wants to play college football, is that good enough for him? At what point?
I mean, I think you saw that with Butch, though.
Right.
You know, to a point, all the hype and excitement, that can only carry you so long. And I think the same thing with this. I mean, we're still in the newlywed phase of Pruitt. You know, this is year 2, so it's a honeymoon. But like we said earlier, it all boils down to wins, and that's, you know, winning cures all ailments. It's not going to matter what's going on. Recruiting will take care of itself. You know, the athletic department, money coming in, it'll take care of itself if we're winning. I mean, heck, we can have 75,000, 80,000 people in a stadium when we're losing. I mean, Tennessee football is Tennessee football, but there's nothing like Tennessee football when we're winning, and there's 107,000 people screaming. You know, Bentley, you were there with me the Florida game when you broke my Oakleys jumping up and down. Yeah, I mean,
I don't remember that.
the place is electric.
There's nothing like it, man. There's nothing like it.
Nothing compares to it.
No.
But we can't sustain what we are without noted improvement. And I think that's what it takes. I think there's still a little bit of grace period for Pruitt. You know, I mean, there were people last year saying, you know, oh, fire Pruitt, this and that, and there will be people saying that this year, the first game we lose. But I think as long as we see marked improvement, a bowl game, you know, more consistent offense, more consistent defense, you know, not having somebody just run down our throats and right down the field, or our back end getting torched. I think that's a sign of taking that next step.
We got 26 in the live chat. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We're taking questions. We were about to wrap this thing up. You guys didn't want us to go, so we're interacting. Post your questions in the chat. We'll get to as many of them as we can. Michael Palmer says Chandler is the best back, but is he really an every down back? And I don't think he is, but I think what makes these running backs special, and I know some of you guys were disagreeing with me, saying that the wide receivers were the strength. I like these three running backs. I really do. And again, to keep harping on it, if Jeremy Bates can protect the football, and I don't think Chandler has to be an every down back. I like getting Chandler the ball out of the backfield. I like, I think Chaney can really utilize him in space. I like Jordan and Banks running the ball, and Chandler's a good running back, running the ball too. But I think the three would complement each other well. And I say would because I'm not selling Jeremy Banks. I've not bought in yet. I love his heart. I love the way he plays. I love the way he runs downhill. But if you put the football on the ground, Pruitt's not going to put him in the game. He's got to prove himself and earn that spot on the field. But between the three of them, I think they all complement each other well. What do you think, JP? Chandler, is he really an every down back?
I think that we need to give Chandler 20 touches a game, whether it's, I mean, to me, a combination of running and receiving. I mean, he was our best playmaker last year. I mean, look at, that touchdown he caught against Auburn, and same similar type play against Georgia too, when we started making it, a little bit of making the game competitive there in the third quarter, I think it was, or maybe early fourth. But anyway, I think Chandler needs to get 20 touches, but if he's getting absolutely smashed in the backfield like they were happening a lot of times last year, it's not going to matter with that. But Banks, I don't know. I mean, I like the kid. I love his personality, but certainly, I mean, he's going to have to hold on to the football. I'm interested to see what that Eric Gray does. I'm interested to see him and see if maybe if he can carve a roll out for us this year too. And I think Jordan is a decent back. I don't think he has any kind of breakaway speed or any kind of elusiveness or anything. And last year his vision was really what got him. That hurt him. I mean, there were several times that if you could say that our offensive line opened up a hole, he would seem to miss it, with that, because he was probably surprised that there was a hole there. So, I think Chandler needs to touch the ball, and I think that Big Jim Chaney will find a way to get him the football. I don't think that we're going to have to worry with that. I think that Chaney will find a way.
JJ Banks says, Boogie, you mentioned Bird. Why can't he be more of a factor in the return game with his speed? Seems like he would be deadly there. The return game was kind of weird today, man, on the kickoffs, because I thought that he looked good. Not Bird, but Thompson looked good in the return game. Yeah. Who else did they have back there? Chandler. But it's hard to tell because it's two-hand touch on kickoff return. Yeah. So you can't really get a feel for what's going on. Either the coverage team was terrible or Thompson, he looked good back there. He looked bad on the punt returns.
I think Bryce Thompson can get us some field position this year. I certainly do. Now, he's probably going to be one of those that may cost us, a fumble. And he's probably going to be one of those that we're all going to be sitting there going, what are you doing? Do not do that.
He did that on a punt return today on the 5-yard line, running backwards like an idiot.
Yeah. So, whether or not that, that'll hold up on punt coverage, because I don't think Pruitt's going to put him out there if he's catching punts and going the opposite direction, because he's not going to outrun other SEC players doing that for sure. But I think that he's got some skills with the football in his hands. So I definitely think kickoff return. Of course, now Chandler returned kicks last year too. So with that, will be interesting to see that. I thought that other punter actually looked better today than Doyle did.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean, Joe Doyle's name is just awesome. Yeah,
Joe Doyle
rules. I mean, who couldn't cheer for that guy?
They said he had 65 punts last year.
That's embarrassing.
Let's
not talk about that. Let's talk about his name some more.
That's averaging what like 6 a game or almost.
Yeah,
but that goes back to Pruitt, man. Nobody's safe. Nobody is safe. I love that there's competition. If Joe Doyle doesn't rule anymore, then let's move on.
Wasn't that Paxton Brooks highly recruited? I mean, as a punter can be, as a kicker can be.
He scholarship player.
Is Samaglia still because I saw that Brooks made that field goal in
Samaglia missed one earlier in the game, didn't he?
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't see him. No, because what's his face kicked the 46-yarder and a 20-yarder. He missed from 46.
Brooks did.
Yeah, he missed from.
Okay.
Yeah, he was the one that missed from 46.
I didn't see Samaglia.
I didn't either.
He might have been getting another tat.
I'm still waiting to see who I forgot who it was that got that Tennessee tattoo.
He needs to share that with us.
Jen Summerfield says, "Go Vols, go Vols."
Yeah, Michael Palmer. I'm excited about Eric Gray too. Didn't Joe Doyle Rules have a 71-yard punt tonight?
Yes.
I don't know.
No, that was his long for the year, I believe, last year.
Somebody said that was Brooks.
I think he averaged 41 is what they said today when they talked about his 65 punts that we had last year.
He got enough practice at it last year for sure. Maybe he's got like his legs still like trying to recover from last year. Maybe
his right leg's twice as big as his left.
Yeah, maybe that's why he didn't have as good of spring. His legs still trying to recover from all those punts last fall.
So here you go, Boogie. I'll see your Del Murphy ball and raise you a powder blue throwback.
Well,
that's signed.
I can't. I'm on the laptop, so I can't turn it. But I've got it's just the standard gray autographed Del Murphy jersey. You know who gave me that? I was a groomsman in Chris Morgan's wedding.
All right.
Dude, I gave my groomsman a $20 gift card to Walmart because I was 19 years old and I'm cheap and I don't have any money. I spent it all on these Barbie dolls back here. Anyway, me and old Matt Hickman were Chris's groomsmen. Dude, he was young too. He didn't have any money.
Right.
And he's like, I got you guys a little something. And he gets these bags out of his car and hands them to us. I open mine up. It's autographed and it's got the certificate Del Murphy jersey. And he gave Hickman an autographed Mean Joe Green jersey.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Here's your $20 Walmart gift card. Have a nice life. You guys got any more questions? Or are we going to wrap this thing up? You drop them in the comments. 24 people watching. You guys are making it hard to leave. This is our highest live stream we've done yet. All two of them that we've done.
Pretty sure Flowers was hurt or that they held him out. JJ Banks was asking about Trayvon Flowers. I think I read that he wasn't playing.
I've got the list of players that were out. Guys that were out today: Balaam Buchanan, J.J. Peterson, Brandon Kennedy, Trey Smith, Eric Gray. He's not listed, but that doesn't mean he wasn't out. So I don't know.
Peterson's another one that I look for him to make some impact this year.
What's wrong with him? How come he's hurt?
I'm not sure, but they're saying he's finally in shape. I would hope so. Good God. That's all you've ever read about that guy. He's going to be a stud. He's just not in shape.
Dude, did you see him when he finally got cleared last fall? I mean, it looked like me out there.
What are you saying? Look at, you're a fine specimen.
Oh yeah, buddy. Yeah. I was like, man, that dude. I mean, I can't believe somebody like that that's highly recruited like that and is trying to get into school and knowing what's facing them as far as that fall camp and that, just that whole thing. Having to go play major college football that you wouldn't work out during the summer months, and you look like you've been.
But he was coming off a knee surgery, though, wasn't he?
Maybe he was. I don't know.
I think
was it his knee?
But he missed his whole senior season in high school, right?
Peterson did. JJ Peterson. He may have. I can't remember. But anyway, I was like, man, this guy's like, he's on a Vols JP diet, man. He's up here in the Tri-Cities eating him some sauce burgers from Pals.
He's eating more than one sauce burger.
Going to the buffet.
He's like old Willie Sells. He gets him 2 hot dogs, a large fry, sweet tea, and an extra sauce burger on the side.
An extra sauce burger.
Dude, Dauber's seen Willie put down food. It's ridiculous, man. He's the skinniest guy in all of us, and he eats 15,000 calories in a day.
I've seen Robert Craig put down some food too.
That guy, Robert Craig, if he's still on the live chat, it's the only guy I've ever seen. When the McRib comes back, he eats him for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. He's like, I think I'm going to have some dessert and put some ice cream on a friggin' McRib. Jeremy Davis joining us in the live chat. Go Big Orange. Michael Palmer and Tim Bradley trying to hook up. Did you go to Cherokee? Maybe they'll meet up for some pals.
I don't know who he's asking. No, I didn't go to Cherokee.
No, he's asking. He's asking Tim Bradley.
Oh, okay. For some reason I can't see all this stuff.
I'm going to keep harping on you guys because there's a lot
What's
of
up,
you in
Jeremy Davis.
Remember to hit that like button. Help us out. You guys have probably already hit it. There's Robert Craig McRib
McRib rocks. Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Something's going on here. You're like blurred out.
That's probably because we're all talking at the same time, or my internet connection's slow. One or the other.
Blaming on Charter.
Yeah, Charter sucks. We don't need to have silence when we're live on the air.
I know it.
Yeah, Michael Palmer. It was funny when they were talking about JG's breakfast. Man, that was hilarious. Absolutely. But he's put on some weight. He looks good. He's solid. He don't put on 20 pounds like I do. I have knee surgery and put on 20 pounds. It don't look like that.
When I had my back surgery last summer, I actually lost weight, surprisingly, because all I did was lay in the bed.
All I did was lay around too, but I ate like a gorilla.
Well, I did too. I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't, shying away from eating food or anything. It was weird. It's weird. I wouldn't
all that muscle.
Oh yeah.
You couldn't power lift anymore.
Yeah, buddy.
I just went back to jiu-jitsu a couple of weeks ago.
I saw that. Yeah. I've got to get back on my DDP yoga.
That stuff works, man.
It does.
Michael Palmer, class of 94. He's almost your age, JP.
He's older than me then.
What are you, class of 95?
96.
96. That's right.
That's a 96. Atlanta Sports, boo. Oh, I guess he's saying that because you showed your Dale Murphy.
I got an Eric Ainge autographed football jersey too, if you want to see it. Oh man.
I don't have any autographs.
I don't have a lot. Just Dale Murphy, Eric Ainge. I think that's it. Oh, Colt Cabana, professional wrestler extraordinaire.
I'll sign something for you, JP.
You will? Oh, I've got some autographed football cards.
Robert Craig has an autographed Boogie Bentley Miller Light bottle from our slot car racing days.
And if you guys can see that, the Diesel, John Reagan's autographed football card. And the Diesel, John Reagan's autographed football card.
Only thing Redskins I got is a Darryl Green bobblehead.
That's cool.
That's it. I got Tiger Woods. I got Tiger Woods scorecard from the first ever Masters he won. It's a framed picture of him and then it's got the scorecard underneath it. I think it was when they were installing carpet here, asked me if that was his real scorecard from the Masters. Yeah, man, it is.
Yeah, he gave it to me.
I should have said, if I had that, I would live in this house. No, be a millionaire, man. 21 people in the live chat. Hit the like button. Leave us a comment. Although I think we're about to wrap this thing up. Michael Palmer says, "Go Chiefs." JJ Banks, class of '93. Banks, how are you playing at Tennessee now? If you graduated in '93, is that when you graduated elementary school? Oh man! All right, guys, it's been fun. It's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. But I think we're gonna have to wrap this thing up. We're going to go ahead and close the stream. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you want us to do more of these.
We appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys coming in and interacting with us.
And girls, ladies.
We really just hung out tonight. We didn't talk we talked a little about the orange and white game. But if you guys have fun and you just want us to shoot the bull, we'll do it. So we're going to wrap this thing up. Leave us a comment. Let us know if you want us to keep coming back and doing more live streams before the season actually starts. We may do it. We may come hang out. Hit the like button. Dauber is with us for the long haul. And a lot of you guys were asking about our main. I reached out to him this week. He's coaching baseball, so it's kind of tough for him to jump on. But I think he's going to come back. I think you guys I think you hit him right in the feels. I think he wants to come back. So we'll talk to him and see. Again, check out collarandelbowbrand.com. That's our sponsor. If you guys go and make a purchase there with the promo code ComicCast, COMICCAST, they throw part of that purchase to us, which helps grow the podcast. We use it for advertising and different stuff like that. So check them out. But that's going to wrap it up for Vols JP.
What's your favorite shirt on Collar and Elbow?
The Dusty Rhodes inspired "Living the Dream" t-shirt. You can see that on the last Comic Cast live stream. That's the shirt I wore. It's freaking awesome. It's got cowboy boots on it. Check it out. But for Vols JP and for Dauber, I'm Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.